Today I'm showing off my Cassette Label Maker, and this is a guide for how to design as well as print your stickers to your cassette tapes. To start with, you want to get a playlist link from one of your playlists. Most services have a way of copying your playlist. Usually it's like one of these little three dots. You always want to make sure it's set to public, and I'm going to share and copy link. Sometimes you can copy this URL at the top, but generally I recommend finding like the little setting and making sure it's set to public and clicking share and clicking copy link. So we go back to our playlist and we just paste it in here. And you'll see I've got some other examples of each music service. So we got YouTube Music, Bandcamp, Tidal, Apple Music, Deezer, regular YouTube. You can make playlists on YouTube, and then Spotify. And you can also upload an MP3U playlist. But for the purposes of this video, I've got this Tidal link. I'm going to paste it in, and you'll see it automatically pulls in my custom uploaded thumbnail. I'm going to go down and adjust that zoom level so I can zoom in, zoom out. Then we can also edit the text around. I like this track list. I don't think I'd really change anything, but you might not want to show the numbers. So I could like hide the track numbers. So you just have these little dots. We can change the fonts around. So make that even bigger. I could choose other album covers, from the track list if I wanted, but I like this custom one that we've got. Oh, also you could play with the color, and it colorizes everything all at once, kind of like an old school tape. And this background, you could bring it up. The color is going to be hard to read against this background. That's why it's nice to be able to drop this opacity down. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with it. So once you get it to where you're ready to print, the way I recommend using this designer is to copy and copy with bleed. Now, if you are going to cut these out by hand, you could do copy original, but we're going to use pre-cut label paper. So when you copy with bleed, it adds an overage to your design so that you don't have any like little white edge, because it's not exact. You'll see what I mean. So if I copy with bleed, and then I'm going to click paste and print, and I like the online labels. They're cheaper, the quality seems nice. That opens up this template in Photopea. We're going to zoom in, press paste, and then move it over to, I'm going to zoom in pressing Command or Control plus, zooming in, and you can see so this design that I've got is very light, so you can see this color, but what you want to do is get it centered, and I kind of like using this inner circle to get it centered, so you can see it's pretty close. This isn't going to be exact either way. When you print with a printer, it's off by a slight margin, so you want to get it good enough, and then we'll bring in our other one. So I'm going to go back to my designer. I'm going to hit copy, again, copy with bleed, and then bring this over to the tab that I have open with Photopea, paste that in. Now, one thing you might do, you can see they're going to overlap each other. So you might just, sacrifice one of the labels. So I'm going to drag this down to the next one. Don't want the overlap. If this was a solid color background, there'd be no problem with overlapping your design onto the other one. But for this one, you want to just put this on its own label. So you're sacrificing this one, you're sacrificing the one below, because you're letting that bleed go over onto it, right? So I'm going to get this centered, and then we're good. We're ready to print. One last thing though, you really got to make sure, hide this layer. I've got all this, I intentionally put all this garbage all over the design so you don't forget to hide your layer, right? So that's over here. Click hide your layer. And now we're going to hit print. So file, print. So I usually use Firefox, and it just downloads it as a PDF. I open an Acrobat. But for a lot of you, you're going to be using Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, which runs on Chrome, and you'll be looking at something like this. And it's confusing because it says 100% here. So you're like, oh, good, I'm good to go. I hit print. It doesn't say anything about 100% here, right? You think you're good, but you're not. You got to go to more settings. You got to go to scale, and it says default right here. And you don't want to do either of these options. I'm going to click custom and 100%, and that guarantees that you're printing at 100% scale. So I'm going to click letter and 100% and then hit print. So yeah, here's the paper, and you can see if you look really closely at these edges that there's like a little corner right there, chamfered edge on the top of the tape. So you want to make sure you orient it correctly, or otherwise everything will be misaligned. Yeah, this turned out well. All right, so I've got a couple of these cassettes. I've got my label paper right here. Trying to get that perfectly centered. I don't know how I'm going to do. Pretty good. Not too bad. Yeah, I mean, cutting it out by hand, getting this circle is going to be a tricky one, you know? I'm just centering it by using just that inner circle, just thinking about trying to get that inner pill shape as good as possible. It's a little bit off, but it turned out pretty nice. Side A, side B, got my track lists. So pretty easy way to do that. And that's it. That's my guide for making these. I think the tricky part is printing, but hopefully this guide helps you figure that out. Let me know if you have any questions, and hope this helps you on your journey to make cool looking cassettes with your own designs.